Hey everybody, welcome back. We are in Goose Bay, Canada on leg 5 of our trip across the Atlantic. We're at the aircraft, they're bringing the stairs up. They're going to be putting the bags and food on board. It's time for us to get our show on the road. The company executives, engineers, and trainee flight attendants are ready to leave. And I think they missed the door there, but we're not going to take too close a look. There we go. But we're going to get on our way. Today we are flying from Goose Bay. It's kind of overcast. I'm just looking around here. It's an overcast day. We're flying down to Halifax. Halifax isn't looking good at all. Very low cloud. Might even be foggy. It's going to be a very interesting approach into there. But we got about a 2-hour flight, so let's hop on board. And where are you going? I'm not done with you yet. And we can get on our way. Alright, so the crews are getting on board. You can hear them in the back there. We'll start getting our aircraft set up. So parking brake is set. Choctor set GPU is connected. Thrust levers are at idle. Master is normal. Batteries are on and reading good. Generator switches are on. External power is connected. The deers will come on. Get our panels up and going with lots of illumination today. I think it's going to be kind of gray and dreary the entire way there until we get above the clouds. Anyway.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items underneath the seat in front of you. Unless you're in a front row, please place all of your items in the overhead bin. If you have any trouble finding a location for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. If the overhead bin is full after you put your carry-on inside of it, please close the bin as a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away, please clear the aisle and sit down in your seat to allow other passengers to find their seats as well. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please leave the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know so you can be reseated. Now's the time to get out any last-minute text messages if you need to, but we ask that once we depart from the gate, you put away any laptops or tablets. Thank you, and welcome aboard. We're ready to go when you are. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 05, with service to Halifax. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 48 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seatbacks are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, secure doors for departure.
So with only 35 people on board, you can see how fast we're getting loaded. There's an option in the PACX program to do instantaneous boarding, quick boarding, which is what I've got it set to, or I think it's normal or realistic boarding. I'm not sure how long that's going to take. It could take a while to load up an aircraft full of people. So we're going to leave it as quick boarding and go from there. Anyway, we're going to get our weather. So we are here at CYYR, which is Goose Bay. The current MEDAR well, it's about 50 minutes old now. Winds are 010 at 6. Visibility 15 miles. Overcast at 3,400 feet. Yeah, we can definitely see that. Temperature is -1. Dew point is -5. And 2967, wow, low pressure, is the altimeter. Oop. There we go. 2967 is the altimeter. We'll put it into the standby as well. 2967. 30,000 feet is our cruise today. So that is our pressure set in. So while we're waiting for the, we'll get the APU up and running. We will go down here to the McDo, and that is what it's called, the MCDU, main computer display unit or something like that. Anyway, database is active. We are good. So we'll go to our initialization. CYYR to CYHZ, Goose Bay to Halifax. Flight number is FLATL05, like fly over flying the Atlantic. It's called a tour in the virtual airline. I just got to get that alternate. It was KBGR. I think that's Bangor in is it Massachusetts? KBGR. Be our alternate today. Cost index, as always, for this aircraft is 25, and our cruising flight level 300. Flight plan pretty simple. We're going to take off runway 08. And then we're going to make a right turn and head south. And it's pretty much south all the way. And then we're going to jog around here, do our intercept onto the ILS, and come in on the ILS runway 23 at Halifax. And again, the weather's looking pretty low cloud, so could be very interesting on the arrival. But we'll deal with that when we get there. Let's go back to there for you. You're gonna go to there. And we are all looking good with that. Okay, so that's all done. APU is winding up. We got 3 minutes left on our setup. So a good time had here, looking at the weird and wonderful terrain. I'm not going to need you, guy. I'm just going to be pulling right ahead. Like, this is a pull-in, pull-out parking spot for big aircraft. Oh, flying club guy going out. Again, this is a old military base. So back World War II, post World War II, a lot of aircraft that were flying over to Europe would come here, and this would be their final stop before they left. Same as aircraft coming over. This is where they'd first come in, because they would fly north using the Iceland-Greenland route, or even if they weren't touching down, they were flying continuous, they would use it, Iceland, Greenland, just as emergency fields in case they needed it. So there was lots of traffic through here, especially military traffic up until 70s, 80s. Still a military establishment today, still a busy place to this day. So it is a very active airfield. So we're going to go back to our map so we know where we're taxiing when we would get going there. Alright, so what do we got left? 1 minute to go. And we will be able to get underway. Alright, so we'll get the APU bleeds on. Generators off. Thrust levers are set to idle. Engine area is clear. Mode selector, ignition start, and our switches will come on. And we got a bit of a long taxi, so we're going to use the pushback just because it'll trigger the flight attendants, and then we'll stop it. And they can do their thing on the taxi all the way down to runway 08. So there we are. We've kicked in now, we are ready to go. So we'll bring the truck in. He's going to connect. And when we get the push, we will push back and go. We can do our final setup here of flaps. Flaps 1, takeoff, and our new V speeds. A rotate of 143 today. It's not bad. A lot of fuel, we don't have a lot of passengers, so we're a fairly light aircraft. There's our push. And we're into pushback.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front of the aircraft for a safety demonstration. When the seatbelt light is on, please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another. Tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence. Please take a few moments to now locate one of the several emergency exits on this aircraft. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. In case of an emergency and we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor that will guide you towards the exit. In the event that the cabin loses pressure, an oxygen mask will drop right in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth and secure the elastic band behind your head. Tighten the straps if necessary and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Leave your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Slip it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the straps in tight. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If it doesn't inflate automatically, you may blow into the mouthpiece for manual inflation. This vest is equipped with a whistle and a light, so if you need to, the restriction can be used as a secondary breathing device. Please make sure to exit the aircraft as soon as possible and leave your belongings. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest reading this and letting a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Alright, number 2 is spooling up. Good fuel flow, pressures, temperatures are all coming up. And we have a stable engine start. So So the APU bleed can come off, shut off the APU, and ignition will go to normal. So we'll do our pre-taxi. Probes and window heat come on, heading and altimeter. Altimeters are set and cross-checked. Heading is set, standby instruments are set, radio and avionics are set. Autopilot is good, flight directors will come on. Auto brake for RTO, flaps 1 for takeoff. Trim goes to 1 up. And flight controls are all checked. There we go. So we're ready to taxi out. So taxi light will come on. I'm gonna turn off runway turn off lights because it's kind of gloomy out. Not gonna lie. And it's time to taxi. Really nice to have a proper tiller for this instead of using the rudder, but it's better using the rudder than having it attached to the joystick, and that's one thing I'll give it. That off. Arm the spoilers. TO config. And we'll just let the crew get ready when they're ready to go.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please.
And some pretty funky landscape out there. On our speed. Not sure if that's a second airplane or if that's the same one and he's just decided to stop there. So we'll continue to taxi. Still running. Maybe he went for fuel. There's 08 over here. We do got a taxi down to the far end. Oh, there's another aircraft. Where's he coming this way? I think he's coming this way. Oh boy. Joys of having one taxiway. Well, I think we've got collisions with aircraft on, but vehicles off. So we're gonna have to do this to avoid him, because he's just gonna stop and sit there. hopefully we don't run into another one because we don't have room to do that again. Actually, we do have room. This looks like a paved addition. Well, it's marked with X's, like do not go here. So if everybody remembers 9/11 and the grounding of all the aircraft, all the ones that were flying over from Europe to America and to Canada were ordered to land here. And they were, the residents were basically held in the town here for days until they could get them out. This whole area was packed full of airliners, nose to tail. There's photos you can find online of it. Quite the sight. There was over 100, I think, airliners packed in here. And Goose Bay is not a large place by any means, a couple thousand residents, and something like a whole football stadium, 50, 60,000 people were plopped on them in one day, and they had to stay for a while. So it was very interesting times. Basically, you had whole families being put up with other families that lived here and sleeping on couches and stuff in people's houses for days until they could get out. I'll see if I can find a photo of it, and I'll put it up on the screen right now so you can see it and just see how the aircraft were stacked in here. I mean, that's just over 19 years ago now. Alright, well, we're almost here. Everyone's been notified. We don't need to go down into the far side. And this is almost an over 11,000 foot runway. So, lots of room for a small airliner like this. Alright. So, parking brake is on. Flight instruments are checked, engine instruments are tracked, V-speeds are set, nav instruments are checked. Landing lights are on, nose light to take off. Strobe lights are on, pitot heat's not required. De-ice, not gonna take off with de-icing on. But we will go TARA, predictive wind shear, and the radar on, and there's our cloud layers. Nothing in the red, well, a little bit in the red, but not much, so we're not too bad. We will kick on the chrono and start to taxi out. And I think we're just gonna go. Once we're out, we're all set. Go 10 degree down on the nose just to keep the pressure down. Nice big open runway. It's 40% stable and to flex. And flex SRS, runway enabled. 100 knots, easing back on the pressure. V1 and rotate. Nose up to 17 degrees. Positive rate, gear going up. Thrust levers to climb. Autopilot is engaged. Alright, so we're nosing down for acceleration. Flaps coming up. Ground spoilers are disarmed. They're making a hard right turn. Here we go. And we are going to disappear into the clouds. Goodbye, Goose Bay. Speed's coming back, climb rate's coming back. And there we're popping out, top of the cloud layer. About 7,000 feet. A little bit of ice, but nothing major and nothing reported in the engines or anything, so we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet. You may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight. Do not form a line near the lavatory.
So landing lights are off. Strobe lights are off. Go to standard pressures on the main instruments. Flight crew can start doing their thing as we climb out, and that's gonna be it for a while. Enjoy the flight. We'll see you as we're descending down into Halifax. Alright, so that's a standby, and altimeters are set as we descend through 18,000 feet. Speed's holding, just 260, 259. So it's a pretty straightforward approach as we come down to the clouds. We're going to make a bit of a right turn here at Cayley, and then head straight down. Should be 3,000 feet by the time we get to here, and we're going to do a slight right and left, and then straight in on the approach. Now the weather for Halifax right now is saying winds are 210 at 14, gusting 24, and it's broken sky at 700 feet, overcast at, well, it says 19,000, but that's a lot lower. So we may have clouds pretty much almost down to the ground. We'll have to see. We're going to go with a little bit of spoiler. Keep our speed under control. Don't want it creeping up too far. We're coming down to 10,000 and we do have the speed restriction. 3,000 feet is our intercept altitude for the ILS. And time for everybody to get buckled up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
So Kaylee is the start of our approach. It's the first point on it. So as soon as we hit that, we'll go into approach mode. And we'll begin our formal approach to Halifax. You can see it coming on now. Ease up to about 1,500 feet per minute. The clouds are about 9,000 feet. So we're an hour and 20 from when we pushed back and up in Goose Bay. So I figure we'll be on the ground shortly. We're going to be ahead of schedule, which is always a good thing. Alright, well there's 10,000 feet. So we'll throw the landing lights on. Speed's 250. And the turn should be coming up any second now. There we go. Alright, into approach mode we go. Run that back to 12. And we'll neutralize the speed brakes and just see if we can hold 250 now that we've flattened our descent slightly. We don't got to be 3,000 until technically over here, so that's about 50 miles away. Probably take that down to 1,000 feet. And we'll just slowly come down through the clouds. So speed's 250, landing lights on, landing system will come on. Fuel quantity is good, confirmed, gear is up, and flaps are up. So bow sub is where we would split for the different approaches. Normally we go bow sub to lee rows, where we would then fly in, but whoop, don't do that. But for some reason it's got us going here first and then over, which is actually fine. It shows that on the ILS plate, so I guess either way it's all good. Anyway, here come the clouds as we go skimming across. We go watch here as we disappear. A couple little breaks. We're almost down to cloud level. Cloud lids, or the tops are lower than I thought they would be. Here we go. And everything goes white. Alright, descent is good. I'm going to switch over to terrain mode. Speed brakes are all armed. Okay. And at both sub will start to slow down. We do have a maximum of 200 knots at lee roast. It's 5,000 feet. We'll go into terrain mode. Let's look at a good headwind, 40 knots. Slow that descent down a little bit more. I'm going to try to avoid being too low, but since this is all manually done and the VNAV is not assisting in the calculations.
We have begun our final descent into Halifax. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
It's pretty gray, but we do have some visibility out here. See how it is a bit closer to the airport. Keeping an eye on the terrain. Probably way lower than we should be, but it's fine. As long as the train stays green under us. I'm not sure why it's saying Advuv is 12 when it's 30. whatever. It's all good. Looks like a little bit of rain ahead. Wild wilderness of Nova Scotia. See the coastline over there? See Atlantic Ocean. Just close there, that's the Bay of Fundy. Fundy? I don't know why I said Fundy. Bay of Fundy, right there. Hold the 3500 for a minute. See, there's the airport out there. So to cut out that dog leg, what I think I'm going to do is we are going to make a turn to 255. And we're just going to go straight on and intercept. Call it ATC vectors, maybe 260. We'll come in this way. Like that a little bit better. Alright, so the ILS frequencies are 109.9, 109.9 ILS, runway 23, very good. 130 is our final approach speed. So we're gonna start slowing down. Stop jumping around. 210. Alright, so ILS should kick in any minute. There we go. IGX. Actually, it should be IJG, so we'll wait and see if that changes when we get closer. The 1099 is the right frequency. Come off the runway, we are going to go to the right. Oh, there we go. IJG. All right, it's picking it up now. So speed's down. Flaps 1. Seatbelt signs confirmed. Radios are set. 110 landing lights are on. Taxi light on. Ground spoilers armed. I'm gonna leave the auto brake off for this one. Flaps are to 1. So when we're 10 miles out from Lee Rose, we're going to speed to 180 and we're going to descend to 3,000 for our final turn and intercept. So 10 miles out, so speed down to 180. And 3,000. So we're picking up the localizer, we're picking up the glide slope. Speed's under 200, flaps 2. Have the airport in sight. Alright, over to landing systems. Weather is looking okay. As mentioned, I have the airport in sight over there.
2,500. Camera crew, please take your seatbelt.
So we're down to 3,000 feet.
2,500.
Leveling off. Some weather's loading in. Oh, she's getting choppy. Oh, she loads. She's gonna come on any second. As soon as I see movement. Yep. We're in the soup. It's a pretty shallow intercept angle, so we shouldn't overshoot. There we go. And we'll go low on the auto brakes. Alright, we're about 10 miles out from the airport. Glide slope's alive. .130 is our approach. Whoop. Is our approach. Speed coming down. And flaps 3, speed checked. Glide slope is captured. Gear down. Flaps full. Landing gear down 3 green. Autopilot as required. Go around altitude is set. Auto thrust as required. Landing memo no blue. Landing speed is set. Landing checklist complete.
2,500.
Easy. Come on, I'm trying to set you up here. There we go. Now we just fly it down. I wasn't kidding. It's broken down to 700 feet at the airport. Now 5 miles out. Start making things out a little bit. Definitely got some terrain around. To watch that if we have to go around, but I can see the rabbit. It's kind of foggy out. Airspeed's good, localizer's good, glide slope good. gusting winds. Landing. And reverser is engaged. Knots. 60 knots. Reverser's off. Auto brakes are off. And we will exit here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Halifax. The local time is 1:01 p.m. and it's currently about 7 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. As this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us and we hope to see you again soon.
Engine mode selector normal. Landing lights. Strobe lights are off. Anti-ice not worried about. APU comes on. Brake temp is good. Transponder, radar, and PWS are off. Elevator trim goes to takeoff. And the flap open. Start the APU. And we'll taxi to our gate. People driving on the taxiways again. Not supposed to be out here, the guy. Anyway, we're going down to the terminal. That's the terminal over there. You can see airliners. Just let's look away. So it wasn't too bad. A couple years ago, when I was flying FSX, I came in weather that was way worse. I think we were 700 feet in fog. But it kind of, this is misty, but it thinned out reasonably early, so we were good. Here, and then we'll be going into one of these gates here. Whoa, dude. There's traffic everywhere running around. Nobody caring at all. Oh, I think we're going in right here. Yeah, this one looks good. Oop. Let's get her back online. There we go. And I think somewhere about here would be good. So parking brake is set. Thrust levers are at idle, ground contact. We got external power, we got external power. You can go off. And the engines will come off. Lights, anti-ice. We'll get the jetway out. Flight director landing systems will come off. Fuel pumps will come off. There we go. Everybody's leaving. Get Fred here to go out and say goodbye to everybody. ECAM status is normal. Headlights, steers, avionics, snow smoking, APU's off. Batteries are good. Well, that does us for another flight. Hope you'll join us for the last one when we fly from here down to the New York area. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.